Hi, welcome to Adobe Illustrator CC 2021, Classroom in a Book, Chapter 8, all about using color to enhance artwork. In this one, we're going to learn about color modes. We're going to learn how to create, edit, apply colors, name and save them, work with the color guides. There's quite a few different things we can do with color here in Illustrator, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go in Illustrator. Let's go into our Lesson 8 folder, and let's grab the Start 1 file and say Open. We do have two start files in this one. Right now, we're going to start with the one with the kind of the badge and the two skiers. Let's do a file, save as. And let's change it to first initial, last name, underscore Adobe Illustrator, Classroom in a Book, Chapter 8, Part 1, and save. Alrighty. Now we've got this, I'm going to push save. So the first thing we're going to do is look at color modes. When we look at color modes, we know we've got CMYK and we've got RGB. So CMYK is if we're using ink, so cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. RGB is if we're on screen, so red, green, and blue. So usually in Illustrator, they come up as CMYK, because I assume we're going to print. You can change that color mode. Let's go ahead and start working with color. Let's start playing with applying an existing color. So let's go here to our artboards and let's switch to number 1 called Badge, which has got this North Cascades. And let's go ahead with our selection tool. We want to go ahead and select this red snowboard. And now we're going to go ahead and go to our properties. I want to come down here to my fill box. My fill box right now is kind of a red color. And let's go ahead and go to my swatches, make sure my swatches are showing. And let's go ahead and choose one of these pink swatches. So let's go ahead and choose this second one in on the pinks. And so that's going to go ahead and change that to pink for us. And let's go ahead, hit escape, and hide the swatches. All right, so next thing we're going to do is start to create some of our own colors. So with our selection tool, let's go ahead and grab that green stripe in the snowboard. Let's go to the fill box, click on it, and this time let's get the color mixer, which is the one that looks like an artist palette. And from there, you can see we can drag this around to different parts of the spectrum, get different types of colors. And it's changing in there. So we want to go ahead and choose kind of a yellow-orange color. That's not terrible, but maybe I need to fine-tune it more. So let's do cyan as 0. Do tab. Magenta is 20. Tab. Yellow is 65. Tab. And our black is 0. And let's go ahead and hit enter. And now we've got kind of a light orange color. So we're going to go ahead and leave that shape collected. So the colors created with the color mixer are not saved anywhere except where you actually use them. So if we want to reuse it, we have to go ahead and change it into a swatch as well. So let's go ahead with that light orange shape still selected. Let's click on that fill box again and switch back over to our swatches button. And let's go to the bottom where we've got our little plus sign. And we're going to create a new swatch and let's call it light orange. And say OK. All right, so now we can see in our swatches we've got that light orange color that is available. All right, so we're going to hit OK. We save the swatch. We've got it here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create a copy of that swatch. So maybe we want to do something a little bit different with it. With that shape still selected, let's go ahead to our new swatch button here at the bottom. And it's going to give us a light orange copy. Let's go ahead and just change that name to orange. And we're going to go ahead and change our CMYK a little bit to cyan is 0. Magenta is going to be 45. Yellow, I'm going to go tab, go yellow to 90. Tab black is 0. I want it to be a global color and say OK. So now I've got two different types of colors that I've created. Let's go ahead and switch that fill back to the light orange in that snowboard. All right, so let's go ahead now and click the word north with our selection tool. And we're going to go ahead and we want to shift click. So shift and click the word cascades as well because we want to change both of those colors. And let's go ahead into our fill color and hit that orange. And when we're happy with it, we can do escape and we can click out on our board to deselect. Oh, somehow we didn't get the north, so let's grab our north again. Let's go into our fill, make sure that is orange. All right, go back out. I'm going to do Control S and save. All right, so now we want to edit a global swatch. So a global swatch says anything that is this color, I want you to change it everywhere. So with the selection tool, let's go ahead and grab that yellow behind the clouds. And now we're going to go ahead and apply some different colors to it. So let's grab that, go to our fill, and grab that light orange. So we kind of make it that light orange. So now let's go ahead and apply let's see what happens when we play with that global swatch. So let's double click that light orange swatch to edit it. So I'm going to double click it. I want to sure I put preview so I can see what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and change that cyan level up to 80. I'm going to hit tab and see what's going to do to that color. So we don't necessarily want that to happen. This in theory should have turned as well. So let's go ahead and make sure this is light orange as well before we do that. All right, now I'm going to go in here and double click. Let's do fill. And let's double click this guy, change that cyan to 80, and everything should turn green. All right, turn our preview on. All right, so that's what happens when we change that global color. So I don't necessarily like green. Green's a little bit weird, so let's change that cyan back to 3 and hit OK. And that's going to put everything back to a kind of orange. So what happens when we edit a non-global swatch? The default color swatches that come are not global swatches by default. So we have to actually tell them to be global swatches. So let's go ahead with our selection tool, grab our pink snowboard, and let's deselect, grab our pink snowboard. Let's go to the fill box in the properties panel. You'll see we've got kind of this second one, the pink there. So let's go ahead and it's a not global swatch because it does not have that little white triangle over on the corner. And let's go ahead and escape to hide that swatches panel. So let's go either to the small shape to the side of Cascades. So let's click one. And then, oh, we don't have to do both. So the fill box, let's go ahead and grab that pink swatch. So that second one in. So it's going to make that pink as well. And let's do select and deselect. All right, now let's go to window and swatches. It's about 2/3 of the way down. And with swatches, we want to double click that pink. So let's double click this pink. And we're going to call it snowboard pink. And let's make sure we've got our cyan is 0. Our magenta is going to be 76. I'm going to hit tab. My yellow is 49. Ooh. Tab, and my black is 0. I'm going to make sure my preview's turned on so I can kind of see what's going on. And let's go ahead and say OK. Now you're going to say nothing happened, and that's exactly what's supposed to be because these were not global swatches. So we need to go ahead and change these into being global swatches. So let's go ahead and apply that. Let's select our pink snowboard. And let's also shift and click and grab those 2 yellows or 2 pinks is there as well. And now we want to go ahead and grab that salmon that we just made. And let's go ahead and double click it. And we can make it a global color. And that way, anytime we change that color, it'll change it everywhere. And say OK. All right, so now we've created a new color. So if we see, we go down here, it's now got that little white corner. So as you can see, it's a global color. Let's go ahead and do a select and deselect and a Control S to save. All right, and I'm going to break this one here. And we'll pick up with Artboard 2 in the next one.